This is Steve Castle with Castle Real Estate Group, and this is the March 2021 market update. In this update, I'm going to give you the current state of the market and the trends we are seeing, including the one statistic I don't remember seeing in my 20 plus years in the business. I'm also going to discuss rising interest rates and what that may mean for the market. And finally, I'm going to share a story about a young couple who just went under contract for their first home and the lessons you can learn if you're considering buying a home in this market. I'm sure this is not going to come as a surprise to many of you, but the more things change, the more they stay the same in this current market environment. Last night, I sifted through a dozen or so offers we got on a new listing that we took and ended up selling for over $43,000 above the listing price. The buyers agreed to waive their appraisal contingency and their financing contingency, and stories like this are not uncommon lately as the market continues its hot streak. Active listings are down to 4,250 from about 4,500 last month. Sales are up to an incredible 9,300 from 7,100 last month, and our supply is down again to about 1/2 of 1 month's supply. Maybe the most incredible statistic of all. The average listing is now selling for 100.3% of its asking price. In my entire career, I can never remember a time where this number was over 100%. I'm starting to get a lot of questions now regarding the rising interest rates or a flood of properties hitting the market after forbearance is removed. And while I do think one or both of them could impact the market if there was a dramatic enough rise in either of them, in the short term, there's nothing indicating that that's going to happen. In terms of interest rates, let's look at a $500,000 loan amount. At 2.75% interest, the principal and interest payment would be $2,041 per month. Now let's say at the same loan amount, the rate goes to 3.25%. That payment would be $2,176 per month, or $135 more per month. And while I'm not downplaying $135, the reality is it's unlikely to deter most buyers from deciding to buy a home. I think we need to see rates move up closer to a point to see a dramatic shift in buying decisions. In terms of the so-called shadow inventory, as it's sometimes called, we are really not seeing this as a likely scenario. Arizona's economy is still strong, and housing appreciation means most owners have equity. So even if they got into some trouble financially, they could likely sell their home and take a profit. Under the current market conditions, we need to 7 times our current inventory just to get back to a somewhat balanced market. Finally, I want to share the story of an awesome young couple we've been working with to find their first home. They came to us excited about the process, but nervous about the state of the market. They had been hearing horror stories from friends and family about the market and having to write a dozen offers just to get a home. After just a few short weeks, we were able to get them under contract on an awesome home in the location they wanted, under budget, and it even had a pool. So how did they do it? The first thing they did was they got very clear on their goals and were willing to pass on houses that made them feel uncomfortable, maybe because they were priced too high or needed too much work. We also had a plan for how to structure an offer once we did find a place, and we started the process early enough they would not feel pressure to buy a home they didn't care for. Then we went to work, not only looking for active listings, but also coming soon properties and off-market homes. And when a great home came up coming soon on the market, we worked with the other agent and the tenants to get in before the rush of buyers. We submitted a strong offer, which was accepted. Besides writing a great offer, what did this couple do right? They put their best foot forward from the start. The other agent later told me they had an offer with an escalation clause, $5,000 over our offer, but that his client felt more comfortable with ours because it didn't seem like we were playing games. We let the seller and her agent pick the title company and the closing date, and it seemed like we'd be easy to work with. Luckily, I've also known the agent for years and we've done deals together, so he felt comfortable that we would be reliable and close on time. In the end, while money is always a factor, it's rarely the only factor for a seller. That listing I was talking about earlier with all the offers, the winner was actually the second highest price, but a quicker close, and the buyer and their agent seemed easier to work with. Had the highest offer shortened their close date by 2 weeks, the house would have been theirs. But from my client's perspective, they felt as if the buyers were digging their heels in on something silly. And if they were being that way about something like a closing date, how difficult were they going to be about the inspection? That worry was enough to tip the scales. So, if you're going to look to buy in this market, consider how easy you're making it for the seller to say yes to your offer. It's often the little things that go a long way. As always, we're here to be a resource and to help however we can. If you have any questions or concerns, or if you're thinking of buying and selling, we'd love to hear from you. Until next time, have a great month.